Alright, page 145, Math 1 book still, numbers 16 through 24 says simplify the expression, and we're still working on radicals, but we're working on adding and subtracting radicals. Also, there is some multiplication involved, and then division there at the end with radicals as in the denominators of fractions, and you're also adding. So anyway, we're going to do 16, 20, and 24. And basically what you do is you look at each one of these like an individual problem. So first off, you say, can I simplify the square root of 15? In other words, does a perfect square go into 15? You think about it, you say 4 does not, 9 does not, and you stop. There's no reason on going any further. That's the square root of 15. Plus, then you look at 5 root 3. Is there anything that goes into any square roots that go into 3? You say no. So I'm just going to write this. And then you ask yourself, is there anything that goes, any perfect squares that go into 27? Remember, perfect squares, 4, 9, 16, and so forth. So any of these go into 27? Well, yeah, 9 does. Okay, so minus 2 square root of 9 and 3. That 9 is a perfect square that goes into it. 9 times 3 is 27 still. So basically all I did was rewrote that radical in my first step. So in my next step, what I'm going to do is take that 9, take the square root of it. Square root of 9 is 3. So that gives me 3 times 2, that's going to be 6. So square root of 15 plus 5 root 3 minus 6 square root 3. Well, now what you've learned already is that if you have the same square root, if you have the radicand is the same down here, then you can actually add the coefficients together, the 5 and the negative 6. So this final answer is square root of 15 minus the square root of 3, because 5 minus 6 is negative 1. So this is 15 plus negative 1 square root of 3, if you want to think of it that way. So essentially, if I were to take this same problem and type it in a calculator, square root of 15, square root of 15 plus 5 times the square root of 3 minus 2 times the square root of 27, and push enter. Well, this calculator actually gives me the answer. That's not, sorry, actually should have put that in, the square root of 15 minus square root of 3. This calculator actually gives you the simplified form. If you want to see the decimal, the decimals would be the same no matter how you typed it in. It'd be about 2.14. Okay? Number 20. We're going to simplify this expression. So we would not leave this as a final answer anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to FOIL. This times 1 is 8 root 3. This times the square root of 3 is, of course, positive times a negative, so minus 8 square root 9. I'm just going to write out each and every step here. I multiplied the square root of 3 and square root of 3. So plus 2 root 1, or I'm sorry, square root of 2, and square root of 2 times square root of 3, negative square root of 6, and it's negative because there's a negative sign times a positive sign. Okay, so we're going to simplify this. Square root of 9 is 3, of course, so that's 3 times 8. And I don't see anything else that needs a perfect square taken out of it. So you might put the constants in the front, you might put the constants in the back. I'm sorry, they're all constants, but the whole number, this 8 times 3 is 24. I don't know how you want to write it. 8 square root 3 minus 24 plus square root 2 minus square root 6. I don't know where you want to put that minus 24. You probably either attach it to the front or attach it to the very back. But this is essentially it. That's your answer. So I'm just going to leave it like this, even though there's probably a nicer way to write it. Maybe even a more formal way to write it. I wonder how your calculator would do this. So I just want to check it in the calculator. 8 square root 3 plus square root 2 times 1 minus square root 3. Push enter. Ooh, see, this time it only gives us a decimal, so it's not always consistent in giving us the simplified form. Yep. All right. So number 24 says simplify this. The first thing that I see is that I don't have common denominators. Although they're very similar, they're not the exact same. What I need on the left-hand side is a 2. So what I'm going to do is multiply this bottom by 2, and if I do it by the bottom, I got to do it on the top as well. So that's what I'm doing here. So I have 8 over 2 square root of x. Sorry about that. Plus 5 over 2 square root of x. Well, that gives you 8 plus 5 is 13 over 2 times the square root of x. Remember, you don't like square roots in the denominator, and the way you would get rid of this square root of x in the denominator is to simply multiply by the square root of x on top and bottom. So that gives me 13 square root of x all over 2x. And that's going to be considered the simplified version. Okay, hope that helps. Enjoy.